Can't handle the heat.
Booyaka Show. Welcome back to the episode of Can't Handle the Heat. It's your boy G Swizz.
Joe Worsley.
And finally got Micah on for Shano News, buddy.
Yups,
Welcome on, brother.
Yups.
Good to
And
have
of course-
Micah here.
Of course, we got Shano. Hey, just want to take a second to thank our producers for the show, Dr. Price Electrolytes. I've seen them 20% off, like you said. Keeps us nice and electrolyted. Now, with that being said, let's get on to Shano News.
And
Fire
thanks
up,
for
Shano.
producing. Thanks for the
Thanks
production.
for
by the way.
producing the show.
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Price. We love Dr. Price, by the way.
Our
Thank you.
producers.
Dr. Price was being used this weekend at the Killer Bee, where a bunch of out of shape 40-year-olds tried to hit for the entire weekend with A setting them, and they all pretty much cramped. And one Mason, Travis Hanneman's friend, Travis is one of our buddies from 21st Street. His buddy, like broke his shoulder in the middle of the tournament. Like it was gnarly. I mean,
By hitting?
Dislocated it or what?
Yeah, like dislocated his shoulder, like fully. I wasn't even there, but I just heard stories about it. So it's
Wait,
pretty
so what
wild.
is the Killer Bee?
The Killer Bee is a tournament that's run by the Del Riego family. They're a very famous, like 16th Street Hermosa family. They've been down here for like 50 years. And they run the tournaments basically where the B's are the A's, and the A's set like Taylor Crabb set JK Dunks last year. Sean Rosenthal set Ben Sonza this year. Like they get a bunch of guys.
I like that tournament. I like that tournament.
Last year,
sick.
I had Landon as my setter, which was that was rough. That was, but it was fun. Landon like we did pretty well. So it's a fun tournament, but it's really hard. Like it shows you how hard it is like being an A, just like playing in that. I remember I got home last year and couldn't move for like 6 hours. I was so exhausted, so tired, and it gave me a lot more perspective and respect for what the A's do in 4 minutes.
Hey, there we go. See,
So-
I think we need more of that in just life in general. We need to switch people's roles in life more often so that everyone can be like, oh, wow, that's actually harder than it looks.
Yeah, no doubt. Give people some perspective.
Could I play B in that tournament? I was arguing with Joe about this, that I could play B, since a lot of time I am the B.
No way. Like,
Why?
dude, the best Killer Bees are like this guy Kirk Francis and Tyler Caldwell. If you know Tyler Caldwell, like
Yeah.
he's probably the best B like that plays. Like Gage, you're way too good. You just Panels, for example. Panels played in it 1 year and beat everybody like 15-9 or more. Like he destroyed everybody.
Oh, jeez. All right,
Yeah,
never
no way. Like
How do you get a ball down?
The games take forever.
Yeah,
Every score's
dude.
like 15-13, and they make pool play to 15, so the games take like an hour and a
my
half.
gosh.
It's terrible. It's tragic, but yeah, I mean it's a fun tournament. Like they were trying to have Taylor Crabb set this kid Ford, the kid Taylor played with in Laguna, but they wouldn't let it happen because they deemed it too unfair. Even though Ford's like 15 years old and like not even 6 foot, like it's so stupid. But yeah, it's a fun little tournament. I really enjoy it, and it's fun. It was fun for me, like being able to hit. But I didn't play this year. I went up to SC and watched their football team be beast. But anyway,
against Mountain West. School.
Yeah, Fresno State, baby.
We're talking about a Pac-12 Surface Powerhouse.
Oh yeah. So what have you guys heard in regards to that? I saw AVB's little comment on your guys' video about, we heard some teams that might be replacing the Pac-12.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. So I had a thought in my head. First of all, I don't know anything about that's the thing about us being in Europe is we get out of the loop on that stuff. That's why we rely on Shano News and Jake Myers.
Yeah.
Update us on this stuff.
Yeah.
On the college team. But I will say, we saw some comments, people saying, there's going to be replacements. But you're talking about USC and UCLA, two of the biggest athletic. You're not replacing them with anybody like at that level unless you're
not even close. It like the Pac-12 is on its way down as a conference. I mean, it just is like it's screwed. USC,
California's just been ever since COVID. California's just been going downhill.
Hey, no doubt about it, Micah.
It's been mid, bro.
People are just realizing that.
Hey, I'm okay. I like the South Bay though, so
No, the South Bay is a gem.
Yeah,
I mean, California is amazing, but I just feel like
100%. I agree with you 100%. And I've been a California resident my entire life, so I will say that. All right. On to the next thing. We got
All right.
AVP Phoenix Championships taking place in the Sun
What the hell is that?
Stadium. In the Sun Stadium. You see that?
What's the AVP?
Gage,
Phoenix Championship.
you haven't heard of this, actually?
I've not heard of this.
No. All right, let's go. So this is in the Phoenix Sun Stadium. There are 6 teams that are playing for both the men's and women's division. The men's teams, I will read them out in their seed order. Trevor Crabb, Triborn, 1 seed. Kame Schalk, Theo Brunner, 2 seed. Taylor Sander, Taylor Crabb, 3 seed. Miles Partain, Paul Lotman, 4 seed. Phil Dahlhauser, Casey Patterson, 5 seed. And Troy Field, Chase Budinger, 6 seed. So we got Field and Budinger playing against Taylor and Taylor. Lotman and Partain playing against Dahlhauser Patterson. That's the and then Trevor and Kane both have buys. Now to women's side. Got Kalinsky and Hughes as the 1 seed, Sponsel and Cannon as the 2 seed, Flint and Chang as the 3 seed, Cloth and Nuss as the 4 seed, Scholes and Urango as the 5 seed, and sneaking in at the 6 seed, Micah's girlfriend, Zana Muno, with a new partner, Sarah Pavin. That's an interesting little matchup. And
So
Zana's going against Kelly Chang, so that'll be a fun one.
Is it?
Is this single elimination? That's the one thing I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not.
Ooh, tough.
Oh, wait, is it? I don't think it actually might be. Yeah, no, it is single elimination, I think. Micah, you're right.
Okay.
I think you're right. I'm
Oh,
not.
so this
Yeah,
is the
it
AVP
is.
Championships. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Held
it's the
in
AVP.
Phoenix. I thought it
Yeah,
was some like Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl type BS. I was like, what is this tournament? Like,
No,
like, what?
yeah. It's the Phoenix AVP Championship. So,
Okay, yeah.
all right,
Sure.
let's start. Let's go out with a round of predictions. I want quick fire predictions for each of you.
We always start with the youngest age.
Always. I'm gonna stick with the youngest and say Lotman's gonna take number 1. I think they're gonna bring it again.
Do you think
So-
that so your call is Paul Ottman and Miles Partain to win the championships?
No doubt in my mind.
All right.
I'm
We'll
excited.
debate that. I'll debate that after we get everyone's predictions. What about on the women's side, Gage?
I want to give a fat shout out to Micah here and Zana and say they're gonna take it by storm. They're coming in from behind. And
Come
I
on,
can just see it.
baby.
I can see it. The Phoenix Storm is coming. Storm's brewing.
Who's the 1
From
seed
6
on
to
the women's
1, baby. From 6 to 1.
6 is the greatest number on planet Earth.
side? Would they give the 1 seed to him down on the women's side?
Kalinsky and Hughes. Kelly Kalinsky, Sarah Hughes.
They're just right.
Honestly, the women's division is so competitive that any of the
It
6
is.
can win. Any of the 6 can win, in my opinion. On the
Yeah.
men's side, there's only never mind. I guess I'll say there's 5 teams that can win. I don't see,
No, 6 teams there, straight out. Who can't win? Who's not gonna win?
I love my boy Troy. We won the Solstice together. We won a
Bad
4-man together. Shout out my guy. He's getting better. He's becoming a great player. Him and Chase have not played great all year. We'll see if they can put it.
Rumors on that part. Are they like locked in for years to come here, or?
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, like, I haven't heard anything, but it seems like both are open to whatever, really. I think they both train with other guys pretty consistently.
It's a
So,
deeper
you know,
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that's
Bad boy
what it
Troy with
is.
the
It's
beard.
2022, huh?
But I just don't see them winning. I mean, Taylor and Taylor are playing they played really well in Chicago. They looked like, after what I said they wouldn't win a tournament this year. They looked really good in Chicago that next weekend and almost made me eat my words, up 14-13.
But they did it, and you're still good, baby.
Yeah, I'm still solid on that one, but I see Taylor and Taylor winning that one. Taylor Sander has really improved, and I think Taylor Crabb's starting to get some of his offense back. I think his shoulder might be feeling a little bit better with that kind of midseason break they had.
All that ace, dude. The ace.
Yeah, it might be 4-man, dude. 21st. I'm telling you. Hey, made Joe a better player.
Rehab program is on.
21st, I think, is It's pretty high up there on places to be raised to play volleyball. I think baby
It's a
court
good
still
one.
holds it though.
Oh, 100%. I mean, like, it, like, 100% baby court's
Baby
got to be
court,
the number
baby.
one. You got, there's so many, especially in the
Let's
last,
go.
like, your whole generation. It's like all the Hawaiian guys are dominating, like, dominating.
No,
Like,
dude.
Baby court, 100%.
No.
But in terms of just the environment you're raised, if you're raised from like a young kid on 21st Street, that's
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I mean, absolutely.
in the South Bay in general,
Yeah,
there's
like the
so
South
much
Bay,
volleyball. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. It's like the only area where like volleyball is, besides Hawaii,
Is
probably,
king.
where volleyball is like the biggest sport probably out here.
Yeah.
For sure. Like even more than like football, and like so you're not gonna find that anywhere else in America.
I agree.
That's just the truth of it. But
and
anyway,
it's such a cool place, so
yeah.
more places should do it.
100%. I mean, and it's just like the sheer volume of kids, like kids my age. Like, dude, my 6-man team had 52 kids, and like all of us play 4-man like all the time.
No
like,
way.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like it was nuts. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like all the kids are into it. All the younger kids are into it. Like there's a good beach volleyball culture in the South Bay. Especially in Hermosa, in my opinion. Hermosa is better than Manhattan. That's just my personal opinion, but
Yeah.
people have other opinions on that. Definitely biased, but that's just my personal opinion. All right, hey, I need predictions. Joe, Gage,
Joe.
let's go.
I was gonna go even before I said I was gonna go to the two Taylors. I think they were playing well, and I was thinking that when I saw they made the final, I'm like, oh, I want to see them win here.
Yeah, you want to put me in a pretzel. You want to put me in a pretzel.
And then we just put that reel up on our TikTok, up on our Instagram.
Yeah, that'd be so good.
At Taylor.
I know, dude. You guys, I
Hey, man.
In terms of choosing, I think the men's side too. There's a few teams that for sure can win it, but I don't know. I want to see the Taylors win one. I think that'd be sick. But it just comes down to defensively. They have to be able to stop some teams. I would say that's the issue when they aren't able to generate points defensively. We were talking about it one time. I think it's tough for them to come back from deficits just because they don't have that big blocker that can shut guys down.
I mean, like I agree with that, but the way Sander was making some big moves in Chicago. In Chicago, if Sander can keep up what he was doing in Chicago, if he can keep getting better at the rate he's getting better at, like
it's insane. It's
yeah.
insane how good Sander is so early. Like I can't remember who I was talking to, but like it took a lot of guys a lot of years.
Yeah.
Like to transition. Taylor Crabb was with Trevor for a while in the qualifiers, like working through it. Like all these guys, it took them a while, and Taylor's in 1 year done so well, which is just.
He did get picked up by Taylor Crabb too. That does help.
No, but him as a player is.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah,
it's
I mean
ridiculous.
the things he does, the jump serve to like approach, bounce, overpass to make it like 16-15 in the third set of Chicago was absolutely ridiculous.
He's got some of the gnarliest highlights in the last 50 years.
I mean, he's
been on the beach for 1 year.
He has nearly outdone like all of Rosie's highlights in like 4 tournaments. Like it's ridiculous, But anyways, all right. So you have Taylor and Taylor.
Yeah, I got the Taylors on the women's side after much consideration, breaking down all the numbers. Got to confirm Gage, Pav, and Muno are gonna go 6th to 1st.
From worst to first, baby.
Yeah,
Worst to first.
Stanford 2010.
Love that.
Stanford 2010. Run it back.
So
my obvious selection.
On that, and congratulations on retirement. You just announced that. Yeah, throw that in there.
Yeah, Kavika.
Good call. The leader of the worst to first.
Shoot, that's on me. I didn't report that news. That's on me, guys. I'm sorry.
Shano, you're doing a great job. Shano, you've never failed.
Yeah, all right. Well, shoot. I'm sorry. Shout out Kavika. Great career.
I obviously have on the women's side some heavy bias. So you guys know where I lie there. On the men's side,
You gotta say it.
You should say it.
I'm taking Muno Pavin.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm taking Muno Pavin.
Pavin.
And on the men's side, I just think like the bigger the moment, the bigger Trevor and Tri play.
God,
And it's like if I had to put money down and I'm trying to be safe, I think they've shown that they have the ability to win a lot of big tournaments. So I'll go with them. But I do also think that the two Taylors are playing really well and that they're due for one.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised either.
Look, I'm with Micah on this one. I like Tri and Trevor. They're playing with so much confidence right now. Like Trevor's just, I love Trevor. Trevor's like my favorite player on tour. I love the way he plays. I just love the way. I love his dialogue. I love that he talks trash. He's not particularly amazing at anything. He's just really good at pretty much everything. So he just gets it done, and he's a winner. And him and Tri, in my opinion, is the best men's player on tour right now. So I could definitely, they're probably my favorite. Nobody's talked about Kame and Theo yet. They haven't been playing super well. They have not been playing super well, but I could also see them coming out and having a good weekend. You know, they were super solid, especially at the beginning of the year. They were really good. And then, you know, never count out Phil and Casey, you know. One tournament, any given tournament, this is the championships. Phil could come out and dominate. Like he still probably could. You know, he's done it this year. He's already won twice. So I could see him.
3 wins you need, and you win the tournament.
Yeah, and that's all it is. That's all
true.
it is. So Phil, Phil and Casey, 3 games. If Casey,
I had the same thought process for sure. Like you said, I think the tour has become really even, in my opinion. Like. On both sides.
Well, the men's side, there's like a consistent 5, like it's a consistent 5.
These guys,
yeah. But on the women's side, you could probably include 4 or 5 more teams. Like it's
true.
That competitive. And then on the women's side, so I'm gonna take Tri and Trevor. I'm gonna agree with Micah there, but shout out to everyone else. On the women's side, since everyone is doing it, I'll go somewhere else just to be different. But I'm cheering in my heart. I'm cheering for Zana.
Hey, there we go.
Zana. But I'm gonna take Nuss and Clove.
Traitor.
I like that.
Interesting.
I do like the segment that they did. What's the name that Zana was included on?
That is
Grubble therapy.
No.
AVP Undiscovered.
AVP Undiscovered. Yeah, Undiscovered. AVP Undiscovered.
When they were featuring, the LSU girls are fun just to learn about. And Kristen's the younger one, right?
I believe so.
The blocker.
The smaller one. She's just
she's the smaller one. She's a baller.
She's so fun to watch.
Yeah,
so
she is.
She's so crisp with her shots.
Motivational, Joe.
Crispy with the rock.
The motivational, the smaller setter.
Yeah, just
every day.
Short man syndrome. You know, that's Joey Worsley's hero right there on the
wakes up as a post over. Inspirational.
Yeah.
Boom. That'd be like what?
Hey, is there any update? Do we have an update on the Brett Favre situation? Like,
so far he's not in jail. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, obviously, but like nobody, like that's just like was kind of silent. Like Shannon Sharp talked about it, but out of system, we both knew, I think. You know,
Stephen A. reached out to us. Actually.
Stephen A. did? Really?
No, I'm kidding.
That'd be huge. That'd be huge.
Enormous. What do you mean? Of course it would be. We'd love to. Are you kidding me?
Stephen A. Let's go.
On the show.
You in?
Bonafide. No, but Mike, have you heard about this?
Yeah, I actually just watched that segment that you guys did before getting on here. So
yeah, man, it was crazy.
And I'm sorry, there was a Mississippi State. I'm pretty sure is not that bad at women's volleyball. So there's one school in Mississippi that's not horrible, but everyone else you suck. Dude, I mean, they don't play volleyball in Mississippi, especially not beach volleyball. Indoor, like women's, yes, but name me a men's volleyball player ever from Mississippi. Do you know one?
Good point.
I don't know one.
Brett Favre's son?
A huge player.
Karch Kamraj.
Karch? Yeah, no, Karch is from Santa Barbara.
Danny Barbie?
A lot of ballers.
Right. All right, Shano. Thank you
All
for
right,
hopping on,
boys.
buddy.
Of course. Hey, have a good one, Micah.
Thanks,
have
Shano.
fun. Have fun setting Demir all year. I got to hear about that one of these
Thanks,
days.
brother. It was
pretty
good
lit.
to see you. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, for sure. See you, boys.
Check it, it's our system.
Do you ever find yourself lonely electrolyte, eh?
Do you ever find yourself in need for recovery?
Then look no further than Dr. Bryce Electrolyte, mate!
Welcome back to If You Can't Handle the Heat. Sharing news, bringing us the latest news. Let's just hop right into it. Let's just hop into Overseas Shiza, my favorite segment. Sponsored by Dr. Price Electrolytes. Add some 20% off. You know, we'd be repping that. We're kicking into season here. So that means that the matches happen, and we have a long tournament coming up, which means that we need to be nice and electrolyted, nice and replenished for our next back-to-back-to-back games. And that's why we use Dr. Price Electrolytes. We got plenty of flavors here. We got raspberry right in front of us here. We got lemon lime. There's tropical. There's a lot. And Joe recently has been having a little bit of stuffy nose. And guess what? They even got stuff for that. They even got a vitamin D. Check it out in their link in the bio here. Add some 20% off. If you need anything in terms of replenishment, in terms of your health, in terms of sports regeneration, they got it. Now let's get into Overseas Shiza here. All right. I think I told this story before, but I don't think I've told it in this setting before of Overseas Shiza. And this is the story of how, I guess you could say how I got touched in Bulgaria by my, what's it called? What are they, when they rub you up?
Emotionally or physically?
Physically touched. When I got a little bit of everything. Okay. I got surprised, to say the least, by my Bulgarian team doctor. Do you remember this when I told this story, Micah?
No.
All right. This is what happened. This is what happened here. So this is towards the end of the season. We're going towards the end of the season. We just hired this new lady, and she is what's the word I'm looking? A physio. We hired a new physio, right?
Athletic trainer.
Yeah. Well, no, she just does physio. She just does rollouts, I guess. And she works with the top wrestlers in Bulgaria. So what happened was, she brings in guys one by one. And as a libero, I'm never one to be like, okay, I need to go get a physio check. I need to go do this. They're like, no, Gage, you need to go see her. And obviously, apparently the guys been talking about her who had been there, and they're a little rattled, but obviously speaking in Bulgarian, so I have no idea what they're saying. So I'm coming to this cold turkey, like completely cold turkey. And I'm going in there, and I'm the last one I go in, and it's just this lady. And like I said, she works with the top wrestlers, so I know she's going to dig into me. That's all I know. She's like, okay, it's me, this lady who speaks no English, and our our strength trainer. He's there in the corner, and I guess he's overseeing it. I don't know what he's doing there. He's just watching. And she's like, okay, come up to me. She's like, take all your clothes. Well, she has my strength trainer. He's like, take all your clothes off. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take all my clothes off. So I down to my underwear, which is normal for a normal, what's called massage. I'm like, okay. She's like, all right, where does it bother you? And I point to my left quad. For those of you who don't know where your outer quad kind of, and like right above my kneecap on the outside. It's like, I need a little here. I feel some pains and stuff. I feel I need to loosen it up. I'm thinking when I traditionally go to physio, she's going to start like up here with my hips, and kind of work the way down, stuff like that. Literally, I'm on my back. My arms by my side. She goes. The first thing she touched are my privates. I swear to God. And it wasn't just a graze. Imagine here, she goes, and she grabs, and then she's just working on my inner thigh. And this last, and I remember I was like, oh, I remember touching it. I was like, oh my God, that does not happen. She does that for 10 minutes straight. And it's not like she is just going, and then I'm like, everything. I was there for 50 minutes. She touched everywhere. She touched my butt. She touched my gooch. It did not matter. She was all, and I was like, what the hell is going on? I was like shocked, but at the same time, I was like trying to hold laughter in this whole time. You ever been like a massage and like they tickle your feet and you're like laughing the whole time? That's how I was.
Imagine if you said like, she's like, where do you need it? Like, oh, my neck. And she goes,
yeah. Dude, apparently, I go in. I'm just like shocked, just like what happened. And she had no problem touching any part of my body, which I guess. But like, I was like, in America, obviously that wouldn't fly, especially without like consent or like me knowing what the hell is going on. I go back to my team, and they're just kind of like laughing. They're like, "How was it?" I was like, "Bro, I just got." I was like, "I don't know what just happened to me," and they're like, "Oh yeah." They're like, "Didn't you hear? We've been telling you like the first thing she touches is like your like." She touches like your privates and stuff, and I was like, I don't speak Bulgarian. How do I supposed to know that? Like, so apparently everybody expected that going in except me, and I was the last guy, and I had no idea, and I just got violated like heavily. I was like, what the hell was that? Like the whole time, she didn't last very long. She got hired. She got fired. Literally, like not fired.
Really?
Yeah, we did not go. The guys did not like it. They did not go back to her because she was apparently grazing everyone's. And I don't know if it was on her, but I think it was just probably she just didn't care, you know. And for us, we're just like, what the heck just happened? And yeah, basically, I get bamboozled all over my body. And that was the first and last time I got physio in Bulgaria. I don't think. Well, hopefully that never happens again because that was insane. Yeah, that was an insane experience here. But let's get into our next segment here. Let's talk about something Joe's really passionate about. And that's shoes, baby. A lot of the time, we release a reel on Instagram and TikTok talking about our favorite grass shoes, what they are. You know, Mike and Joe wear turf shoes. I wear hiking, running shoes. There are grass shoes, and you're basically not allowed to wear cleats or spikes. That's what it comes down to. But Mikey, you want to roll us off in the top 3 shoes, including an honorable mention, that you've ever played volleyball in?
Okay, so
wait, really quick. How many shoes do you think have you gone through? Let's start with that.
In my entire volleyball career?
Yeah, think about that. To memory. To the point where you're like, oh, these shoes that you can remember, that you can give it.
Oh, that I can remember.
Yeah.
I'd say probably 15 notable pairs.
Okay.
15 notable pairs that I have an opinion on, you know?
That's fair.
Which is a lot, in my opinion, because I don't remember anything. So,
you're right.
And also, it helps that I played basketball. So, and a lot of people are using basketball shoes for volleyball, and I've used them both for basketball and for volleyball. So, I kind of have a little bit more to choose from. But my answer is extremely clear. I didn't do a top 3. I did a top 1. And then a 1B, and then honorable mention, because I don't think anything should be on the same tier as these 2 shoes. The first one is the Kobe 6, is by far the best athletic shoe I've ever worn. It was I wish I could buy more of them. I think you can buy some of them, but they're out of stock.
Yeah,
they're extremely expensive. But the Kobe 6 was insane. It's like a low top. It had like that snake skin on it. It wasn't that it was like the best looking shoe, but it was so comfortable, so light. And it blows my mind that like a shoe can be so good, and then it's just not being manufactured anymore.
Bro, the
like
Kobe...
why would Nike like not just make the best shoes that they've made and like continue to make them if everyone loves them?
I think there's probably a strategy to that. But can I say this about the Kobe 6 and the volleyball shoe? I always say this, and to this day, the Kobe 6s are the first, I would say, the first big Kobe shoe to ever hit the volleyball scene. When I was growing up, I was about 11 years old, and I saw them for the first time. Everybody had them at a tournament. Stanford men's volleyball got them as well.
You're right.
They had them. They had these scales and everything. This is the first shoe that really popped off, in my mind, big Nike basketball shoe, the really big, huge pop-off in the volleyball world.
I would agree.
100%. And you saw them all over. And they're so good, and they're so hard to find. Like the Grinches, they're just being sold for $800.
Yeah, I just looked it up the other day, the Grinches. I can't remember exactly what they were, but they were extremely expensive. And there's actually a setter in France who is playing in them, and apparently guy said that he has a bunch of pairs of Kobe 6s. And when I was playing against him, he wore the Grinches twice. And I was like, dude, you're a freaking beast. I don't know how you have these, but
you could probably find those in Turkey.
Playing in them, you're a beast.
That's true. You can find some cheap ones in Turkey. Maybe not some real ones, but they look real.
Yeah. My young teammate, like a young kid, is like, do you like shoes? I'm like, yeah, I like shoes. I don't ever buy them, but I like to look at them, and I enjoy them. he's like, dude, Kobe 6s, you can get them for like pretty cheap. So I'm thinking about it for sure.
You should.
Okay, 1B, Harden Volume 2. So much better than the Harden Volume 3. I don't know what went wrong with the Harden Volume 2. I played with them. I got them from USA, and I played with them in 2019 throughout VNL and the rest of the summer. I didn't even lace them up sometimes. I would put them on and play a full practice without lacing them up. I felt so good in them. It's the only other shoe where I like actually paid attention to the shoe. Does that make sense? Like other times we're just putting a shoe and just playing. This one I was like, wow, I like these shoes a lot. And like when I'm playing, I'm even thinking about like, wow, these are some nice shoes. So that's my 1A and 1B.
Oh my god.
And nothing belongs on the level of those two, in my opinion.
I have one question about the Harden Volume 2. I hear that they're great except for the grip. The grip is not fantastic. But that could be someone else.
You've heard people have talked about them, though?
Numerous, yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember the grip being bad. I remember the grip being pretty solid for me.
I trust your opinion more than anyone, so I trust you.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid. It was it's the second best volleyball shoe, I think. Now, I have 3 honorable mentions. One is the ASICS high top shoe that was like when we were kids, it was only allowed for international players. I don't know if you guys remember, but when you'd go to the Anaheim, the ASC, which is where the USA team practices, there's a store in the front of it. And in the store, there's a bunch of Mizuno ASICS. It's a volleyball store pretty much. One of the only like volleyball stores that's actually a good volleyball store. And I remember I went in and asked if I could have like, or how much, or where are the ASICS high tops. And they're like, no, we don't give those to anyone but like international FIVB players. And so that one's, I have never gotten to wear them, but, oh no. And somehow I got my hands on them and played in them. Somehow I got my hands on them and I played
Italian
in them.
accent.
No. I got my hands on them and I played in them and I really enjoyed them and I really liked them. And it was just more like, I was just stoked that I had like somehow gotten my hands on them. I don't know who gave them to me, how I got them. I have no idea because I didn't buy them. I was gifted them. And so that's one honorable mention. And I think it's just a sick story. Like not a lot of volleyball shoes have stories behind them. Mm-hmm. Like basketball shoes and sneaker heads, like there's a lot of, the pigeons or like they have a lot of stories behind them. And this one was one volleyball shoe that had one. So I think that one should be in there.
How were they?
Huh?
How were they?
No, they were good. They were solid. From what I remember, they were solid. And then my second honorable mention is actually the Nike. I don't know if it's called the Hyper Attack, but it was like they were red, white, and blue, and I played with them in France. If we can find them, maybe we can put an animation up or something like that.
No, you're right. They're volleyball shoes.
Micah
right?
Christensen played in them for a while. And I actually, funny story, picked them out of the trash because my Italian was done with them and they were kind of ripping. And someone stole my only one pair of shoes that I had worn for a year and a half for every fitness and every game, which were Adidas Arthur Ashe version Damian Lillard's. They got stolen out of my car. So I was out of luck and picked them out of the trash and started playing in them and then loved them. And those are like probably my third favorite volleyball shoe. They don't have as cool of a story as ASICS high top, but they're probably my third favorite volleyball shoe. And so that's the story on that. He was like, "Where'd you get those shoes?" And I was like, "I found them." He's like, "Dude, did you freaking find those in the trash? I threw those away." I was like, yeah. My shoes got stolen. And I played with them the rest of the year, and they're great. And then the last one is actually the ones that I'm wearing right now that I would never have picked, never have like chosen, but they were the only shoe. I came here with no volleyball shoes, and they're the only shoe in my size at all the Nike stores that I went to. And they are the Why Not? I don't know exactly what edition. They're tan, but they're actually really comfortable. So they're sneaking their way onto this list as well. And that's my 1A, 1B, and 3 honorable mentions.
That's a good list. That's a solid list. And it also, I think it's good because it differentiates a little from me. It's a little variation there. And obviously, you got to keep in mind different positions. Different positions can have different views on shoes. Like someone's jumping and moving as much as yourself and doing pretty much the whole game rather than me, who needs to be one. For me, when I look for a shoe, I look for something that's. I used to be able to I like heavy shoes sometimes. So I was like, keeps me stable. But then I was like, okay, I need to be a little lighter maybe on my feet. So I need that balance between really light shoes and heavier to kind of keep me like this. I think my list really reflects that. And my favorite shoes of all time are the perfect balance between those two. And I'll get to those. Let's start with my honorable mention, though. Number 1, honorable mention. This would be up there as number 1 of all time for me if it wasn't for this one big flaw of the shoe. And this is only with myself. The Dame Lillard 4s. Now, the Dame Lillard 4s are so cushiony. They're like a cloud on your feet. The grip is phenomenal. Everything is great. Perfect balance between heavy and light on my feet. The only problem, though, is as a libero, and I've only run into myself as a problem, I go through shoelaces. I remember in college, I went through 2 shoelaces only on my right foot because I guess I drag my right foot when I dive. The only problem with this shoe was that the shoelace is so exposed that it would rip. It ripped after it ripped. And the thing with the Dame 4 is like, okay, just get a bunch of shoelaces. No, there's specific shoelaces to this shoe, which makes it harder to get. And I
no
have
way.
To get
really?
Yeah, they're thicker. They're thicker, which means, okay, no. Joe
you can't
wears them now,
substitute
I'm pretty
in.
sure.
You can't substitute in just a thinner
No,
one?
because the hole sockets are like arches, so you got to fit in the arches. And I guess you could, but I think it'd be moving a lot. It's kind of, that's the only flaw for me, and that's why it's not even on my top 3, but it's honorable mention. Other than that, the perfect volleyball shoe, in my opinion. Number 2 on my honorable mention list, a sleeper. The Mizuno Wave Tornadoes, the latest Mizuno Wave Tornadoes, they sent it to my dad for me to try out. Unbelievable. So good grip. They last me about 2-3 years. Such good grip. It feels great on your feet. It's really, really good. I have no complaints over it. I just don't think it has that swag to it, in my opinion. It looks a lot better than it used to look when I was like 12. But it looks really good.
I mean, if you're going Mizuno, you're not going for swagger.
No, exactly. But the only thing is, did you know that Mizuno shoes are more expensive than Nike basketball shoes? How much do you think a Wave Tornado costs?
I don't even know what a Wave Tornado is.
Micah, how much do you think Wave Tornadoes, Mizuno shoes cost to buy?
Well, if I'll do it without knowing that you just told me they're more expensive than Nike, and I would guess $150.
They're $200+.
Dude, I remember 12 and under,
$200.
we had Mizuno Wave Tornadoes, the original white ones, and I thought those were sick.
They are. They're cool.
Those were
They're cool.
so sick.
But when I go to the rec and play basketball on them, people just think I'm an absolute idiot. Like they just don't have the swag, in my opinion. I guess clout does, and when it comes to shoes, clout does matter. It does matter at times. And number 3, this is what I see every international player wearing, and they're loving this. I have yet to wear it. These are also $200+ shoes. Is the Asics Metarise Tokyo shoes. You guys ever seen those? Yeah. I hear those are really, really good. Everyone's trying to get their hands on them.
The Tokyo, the all orange ones?
But there's different colors. I've seen the all
They're
white.
awful.
There's all white,
They're
gold.
awful.
You played in them?
So bad. Yeah.
You played in them? What's wrong with
Yeah,
them?
they're bad.
What's wrong with them?
Somebody bought them, tried them for one day. Actually, the Italian. Didn't want them, gave them to me. I tried them one day, and I rarely ever have shoes or
Right.
problems with shoes. Actually, something that's
100%.
hilarious is in Poland we had a rack of shoes that everybody had just left their old shoes for the past 3 years, and one of my goals was to practice in every single one. And I practiced in almost every single
Different
one.
shoe
And
sizes?
right when I got there, my team was like, "This guy's the most stupid guy we've ever met." Every day I had a different shoe, anywhere from a 14.5 to an 11. I practiced in anything from that, and I was fine. Actually, I almost rolled my ankle 2 different times, and I was like, "Oh, bro, if I roll my ankle doing this, I'm gonna get called out so hard." But those shoes are just. And they're just not good looking. That thing at the back, it's just
that's
strange.
True. That's true. It's like a speed bumper, kind of. It's like bumper cars on your feet.
It's almost like there's another shoe that has that like waffle at the
No, I
at
know
the
you're
end.
talking about. Right. Paul
Gosh.
George kind of have that. Your shoe. I mean, I hear what you're saying though. All right, let's go into my top. All right, fair enough. You tried them. Gone. They will be deleted from my honorable mention. Let's go into my top shoes. Top 3 shoes of all time. Gage guarantees. Number 3, my second 18s year. I was 17 years old at the time. I wore, and this is the first year of hitting. This is the first year I had to take into account. I need some more bounce. The Kobe 10s. The Kobe 10s. One, I Nike ID'd them, for one. They were orange and blue, so crisp. And the bounce was nice. They had the air bubble there. Oh my God, they were so nice. They lasted me a while. They were comfortable. I had knee problem. Once I had those, knee problems helped die down a lot more. Like a lot more. I highly recommend them for your hitting. Now it's a little bit. I don't remember. The one thing was the grip wasn't as good as these next couple shoes. That's the one thing holding it back. Number 2, the best hitting shoes I've ever had in my life. The KD 10s. The KD 10s got also a bigger air bubble. I also custom ID'd those. I threw orange and blue because it was my club colors with a little white in there. I looked freaking sick. I was jumping and hitting a lot. They had big air bubbles. They were doing great. They were doing wonders for me. Great pivoting, great jumping, looked sexy, and they were just doing it all around for me. You know what I'm saying? And the great thing with Nike is when you buy from Nike and you keep the receipt and everything, you can return them. For example, my air bubble bought. That's the one. That's why they're number 2. My air bubble popped on them. I sent them in there. They sent me. It cost me X amount of dollars to send me all that money back to get anything from the Nike store if I wanted to buy another one as well. And the number 1 volleyball shoes that I have ever played in my life is actually made from Under Armour. And they do not make them anymore. They do not make them. And I am not the biggest fan of Under Armour. Let me put that out there. But this is the one shoe I do like from them. They don't make these anymore. And that is the Heat Seekers. The Heat Seekers are the perfect combination. They're like everything that I've ever wanted in a shoe and more. The Heat Seekers, 1, they look slick. 2, they come in good colors. 3, they're like a sock on your foot that's so tight. That's what I need. I need something light. I need something tight to my foot. They're not that heavy at all. They're not too light, meaning they keep my foot in balance, right? With the light shoes, a lot of time you can fall over on the sole. This one you cannot. It sucks in perfectly. And also, what is my biggest thing when it comes to shoes, Micah? What's Swagger. my biggest? No, my biggest.
Between light and heavy.
Right, but what's the biggest thing that I need for? No. For what? Why don't I have the Dame 4s up here? What was the biggest thing?
Shoelaces.
The shoelaces. The shoelaces are damn near built into the shoe. So one, it protects them from when I dive, the sides at least, because a lot of times it's the sides. It protects the sides. It's kind of built into the shoe, so it's like a glove kind of thing. They look sick, and they're the perfect combination, and they have sentimental value because I had a lot of success in them. And I remember they stopped making them after my sophomore year, so I had to buy them from Europe, and I had them shipped over here. And they're still in good condition. I have an answer.
I don't want to be just trashing on your list, but is this the shoe that has the plastic around the ankle like area?
No. This is like a sockish thing.
The whole thing.
No
There's no like plastic sort of thing on the outside, like under the ankle-ish area.
No, not at all.
Okay, because those Under Armour shoes are the worst shoes. We all got them from UCLA, and if they're not that one, then never mind. But those shoes were so.
They have like
every
the
single
dots.
one of us were bleeding. After the first day, all of us were bleeding.
What is he talking about?
I don't know.
There's
do
an
they have
Under Armour
like?
shoe with like a plastic.
Look at the Heat Seekers.
Hyperdrive. I don't know.
Dude, the
I
Heat
did look up the
Seekers.
Heat Seeker, and it almost looks like it does have that little plastic thing.
Bro.
But I don't know if it's this one.
Dude, there's
But
no plastic.
I don't think it's
like
this
a
one. No,
sock.
it's not this one. But there's a different one that, oh my gosh, we're all, because it just cuts your ankle up bad. Yeah. I have that same thing.
Bro. So you had them too, and for me, it's Libero. They're perfect. Now, if it's a hitter, I don't know. If it's a hitter, my top shoes of all time are KD 10s. Next week, we can probably do a not top 10. But before we get to that, Joe's going to give us his thoughts on shoes and playing with shoes and his top 20, because he took this so to heart as much.
Yeah, Gage told me the topics for today. And I could not tell you a single pair of shoes that I've worn.
That's bull.
I don't know the name.
That's such bullshit.
I have zero idea what the name of any
bull
shoe is.
crap.
I don't. If people give me shoes, I wear them, and that's how I do it. Do you remember when we went to youth world championships, like in Argentina, and I traded? I think I gave socks for these Olympicus shoes.
They were so heavy.
Olympicus.
Yeah.
The Brazilian.
Back then,
Libero.
that brand was sick.
I traded for because he had like a bunch of pairs. So he's like, yeah, just take them here for some socks or something. And I looked them up. They're like $300, $400 pair of shoes. And I put on, and they were really comfy, but they're so heavy. I'm like, I can't play in
Bro,
these.
I remember lifting him out of your bag when you came back. I was like, is this a brick? Is there like
So
something hitting in
heavy.
here? Like,
Dude,
Really?
And like
So
the padding, they were like freaking, just like cushions, like a bed freaking, what is it called? Where you lie
Mattress.
your bed
no.
with on top.
Oh, got it.
Cushioner.
What is that called? A foam top or something like that?
No, cushioner,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
A mattress top. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Called a cushioner.
But that's what I felt like. It was so comfy when you put it on, but then I'm like walking around. It's like bricks. But on a real note, shoes I have the ones you just described. I wore those at Hawaii. I really like those.
Heat seekers, baby, for the win.
But
you didn't know
I
the
have
name
a
of
pair
them?
of Kobe 6s I wear
Hey!
right now. They're white and baby
What?
blue and gold.
Where'd you get those?
I got them in Germany here on this store.
Wow.
You have those here?
Yeah, they're in my locker. I wear them every once in a while.
You don't like them very much, though.
They're smaller on my feet. They don't fit.
Nike's thinner.
Yeah.
That is one thing.
So I have to get a different size, but they're nice. Colton's been trying to buy them off me for a while, but I'm like,
You should.
keep holding out.
You have my old. He had my Dame Force. My favorite would have been my favorites.
I use
With
those
the
to
license.
lift in a
And the
lot.
lift.
Yeah,
and the
you do have those Dame 4s. I've seen you playing them. Is that from USA? I know a lot of the guys
Yeah.
at USA
Yeah.
were playing in them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoes for me though, not huge. Talking about jerseys, the sickest jersey combo though. That's the thing I care. White on white, and we have that this year for Lunenburg. So
You do. I'm red on red the whole season.
yeah,
Every game.
Really? You like white on white?
Every game.
white on white's the sickest.
White
combo.
on white.
The sickest combo, I think.
That's
It's so much swagger. So much.
That's a good
swagger.
point.
I'm a big white on white guy.
Really?
And then that's why I like the white shoes, and it just dripped out white with the chain, and then you're dripping.
It's a good point.
Came through
Who
dripping.
has the nicest professional club jersey that you guys can think of?
Lunenburg.
There's so many. I mean,
Dude, you can't.
Hershing, the Lederhosen. No.
That is true.
Oh man, we do have to do that. We do have to do.
That can be another one,
TikTok or
Micah. That can be
reel
another
of
one.
the-
That
of
can
the
be another one.
Lederhosen.
But in the meantime, here we got to get ready for practice. And, we'll be repping our Dr. Price's Electrolytes. Add system for 20% off. Link in the bio. With that being said, guys, always a pleasure hopping on with you guys. Just remember, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the damn kitchen. That's been another episode presented by Dr. Price's Electrolytes.